2020 WSR Formula Euro Championship. We're here in Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix as we enter the later stages of the Formula Euro Championship. And I'm joined today by FRL Frittenbood. Great to have you back in the commentary box for as my co-commentator. And I'm glad that we're going to be able to commentate on what is a historic racetrack here at Suzuka.
Yeah, hello, good evening to the chat and to all who are watching at home. I'm excited for this race, really technical track. So let's see what we will get from this race.
And we're just loading up into short qualifying. Let's go over that format for short qualifying. It is 18 minutes. It's non-stop action. You can set as many lap times as you want on many different tires as you want that you at least have available to you. And your goal, set the fastest lap time. It's pretty simple. We are not doing a full-blown full qualifying. We'll just do the short qualifying, and then it's a 50% race, so it's 50% of the regulation laps of the regular Formula 1 track at Suzuka. And we're just getting ready for all the drivers to load up into the lobby. And here we go. We have 16 drivers on the grid. We have MNT Elthink, Isaac, and Sonia Kasuke, Flip Flop Fish, Michelizzi, NSX Fruitful, Terror Racer, The Ginger, Gamer Paco, Ghost King, IRLT Max, ILRT Max, Alan Vor 1, Julian R2012, IGK Nolan Power, and Sonia Ricciardo, and IGK Gil, your championship leader, is last on the grid, but I'm sure he'll be further up the grid. He is your championship leader in the Formula Euro Championship, and we already have one driver out. I do believe it is Max. No, actually, it's Nolan who's going to be out first here at Suzuka. And I'm going to ride on board of him and take you around a lap of this historic racetrack, which has crowned 13 Formula 1 world champions. And it is a historic track filled with memorable moments. Of course, my favorite moment probably has to be Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost, the many times that they battled here, and even the controversial moments and the great moments. As he's just riding up through the gears, warming up the car. And Frinbu, what can you expect from the drivers? What do they need to do to extract the maximum performance around here in Japan?
So the key part of the track is, of course, the first sector. The S's are really important to get a good lap time. You have to watch your rear end. So if the rear end comes loose, you might just end up in the barrier. So this will be the key to come good through the S's.
As Nolan is on one of the Everstar finish rates here in Suzuka, coming up to the famous 130R turn here in the final sector before coming up to that final small chicane, and then the almost parabolica-like turn, that's the final turn, and he will start his lap there in the McLaren. Coming around that final turn and coming across the line, DRS activated, he will begin his lap. There is a car coming out of the pit lane, I believe. They just came out of the pit lane, as now he comes through the first few turns, looking good, a little bit off of the curb there, a little bit off the apex, and now through the S's. Let's see how he does it here. How can he connect it? You got to be smooth, not lose your momentum. It's not good to brake and stop, as looked a little bad out of the end there, but not too shabby indeed, as he's now coming to the end of Sector 1. These are two quick right-handers, and he cuts it about perfectly, and he's done with Sector 1, and it's looking good so far for Nolan, who has been fantastic all season long. As I'll bring up the smaller mini-map so that you can see how he's going through here. There is a Mercedes ahead of him. That is Michelizzi. He's the only Mercedes. He's currently on an outlap. And this could be good for Nolan as he's coming up to him now on this back straight. Could gain some nice slipstream off of him. I think he's just close enough to gain a little bit of an advantage. However, he doesn't want to be running into Michelizzi coming up here as he's in Sector 2. That's the fastest purple sector. He is the first man out, however. And let's see, coming into the final chicane, Michelizzi. Oh, I think Michelizzi might have just bogged him down just a little bit. No invalidation, though. He was lucky cutting the corner there, and it's going to be a purple lap. It's going to be a 1:27.6. Not a bad lap time at all from the McLaren driver. Paco goes 1:28.2. IRLT Max, the two McLarens, are first and second with 1:27s respectively, and Sonia Ricciardo is fourth. Fruitful splits the McLarens, riding on board with Elfink right now. He's coming down the out of Sector 2. It's not a Sector 2 purple for him, however, as Elfink has been on a very good pace as the last few races. And let's see how Elfink does coming around the final turn. It's not looking like a pole lap. In fact, it is going to be right into the pits. Flip-Flop Fish is coming around the final turn, looking to be setting a pretty decent lap time here. It's going to be a 1:28.2, puts it sixth fastest. He is in the other Alfa Romeo. And then Sonia Kasuke comes across the line and puts it ninth on the grid aside his teammate Ghost King, who's in 10th. Michelizzi is trying to set a time. Julian goes 12th fastest. Not the fastest we've seen him. It's a 1:44, so he made a mistake somewhere. Michelizzi is now coming around towards the end of Sector 2. Runs it a little wide out of the exit, and that's a very easy spot to mess it up here as he's coming out of Sector 2. It's a 1:18.3. It's definitely not a super fast lap time by him. I think he might be going into the pits after this, and there is front wing damage on the car. I just noticed there. So he had a message with a wall somewhere. Ginger is now coming down the line. Let's see how this time is. It's not looking fast either. He is fastest in the purple sector, though, but it's getting very, very close to the Sector 3 time, and that's just not going to be a fastest time. I don't know why it said purple second sector, because this is by no means going to be a pole position lap. Alan Vore is coming around the final few turns and through the chicane, looking good right now in the Racing Point as he comes around the final turn. Alan Vore in the Racing Point, looking at 1:27. It's a 1:27.8, and it's going to be fifth fastest for Alan Vore in the Racing Point. So some impressive lap times on the board. IGK Giel has gone fastest, though, by just a 1/10 of a second and some change. Sorry, 100th of a second and some change, and Giel is currently fastest on the grid as he's waiting for his teammate Isaac to come into the pits. Julian, though, goes faster than that, and that is 3/10 faster, and the lap times are trickling down. That's on the soft compound tire for Julian, and that is a blistering lap time. Julian, who did not set a good first lap, and Frittenboot after what has been a long time.
Really close. If you watch place 2, 3, and 4, they were within a half 100th of a second, but we saw a spin in the SS earlier from Isaac, not in the SS, at the end of the SS. He lost his rear end and then he just spun out and ended up in the gravel trap. So the first one who just spun out, he got compromised by Ginger, but I do want to
apologize, ladies and gentlemen. My internet has not been fantastic. I am getting an internet quality issue again on the stream. There's nothing I can really do about it. We have had issues with the servers as of recently, and overall internet connection has not been fantastic. So again, I do apologize for stream quality. It's not going to be excellent.
Oh, Northern Power with the new fastest lap.
It's a 1:27.2. And no one goes on pole by a 1/10 of a second. That's a pretty decent lap time. So Nolan Power is on pole, and with an pretty impressive lap time. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to restart the stream. The internet connection is not great. I'm not really able to stream at the 720p right now. So I'm going to be back with you guys in just a moment. Stay tuned. We will be back live in just a moment. I'm going to knock down the quality a little bit. Hopefully that should solve some of the artifacting issues that we're receiving right now.